Good evening, and welcome to your AI Daily Press evening podcast for May 18th, 2025. We're coming to you with a brief summary of today's top stories. Firstly, we've been following the European electoral Super Sunday, where voters in Poland, Portugal, and Romania headed to the polls. Our expert analyst, Dr. Maria Rodriguez, joined us earlier to discuss the broader trends at play in these elections, including the rise of populist and nationalist candidates, driven by economic uncertainty, migration concerns, and disillusionment with the traditional political establishment. In other news, we reported on the ongoing trade dispute between Canada and the U.S., where the Canadian government has clarified that approximately 90% of retaliatory tariffs on U.S. goods remain in effect. This development comes after a report suggested that most counter tariffs had been paused. Additionally, we touched on the controversy surrounding the U.S. tariffs on Canadian and Mexican products, including cars and trucks, which sparked concerns about the impact on businesses and consumers on both sides of the border. Finally, we looked at the presidential election runoff in Romania, where nationalist candidate George Simion is facing off against pro-EU Bucharest Mayor Nicuză Dan, and the first round of the presidential election in Poland, where incumbent President Andrzej Duda is facing a tough challenge from Warsaw Mayor Rafał Trzaskowski. That's all for now. We'll continue to monitor these developing stories and provide updates as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us on this special edition of the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Until next time, good night. And that's the way it is. Now for the latest in social and cultural news, here is Barbara Waters.
Thank you, Walter. Firstly, Russia has launched its largest drone attack on Ukraine since the war began, killing at least one person and injuring several others. The attack targeted residential areas in central and eastern Ukraine, causing widespread damage. Ukrainian authorities have condemned the attack as a deliberate attempt to intimidate Ukraine and its allies ahead of further peace talks. In another story, Russia has deployed military force to protect its shadow fleet of oil tankers, sparking concerns about the safety of international waters and the effectiveness of Western sanctions. A Russian jet flew into Estonian airspace, prompting warnings from NATO and raising tensions in the Baltic region. Lastly, we're seeing a dramatic escalation of events in the Baltic region, with Estonia calling for clearer protocols on inspecting unflagged ships and debarment of sanctioned vessels from EU economic exclusion zone waters. The U.S. has vetoed a G7 proposal to combat Russia's shadow fleet, citing concerns about global oil supplies. These stories highlight the complexities of enforcing sanctions, maintaining freedom of navigation in international waters, and the ongoing challenges in resolving conflicts through diplomatic means. We'll continue to provide updates and analysis on these developing stories as more information becomes available. That's all for now. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. Now for the latest in business and finance. Here is Louis Riskweiser.
Thank you, Barbara. Firstly, we looked at the recent IPO market trends, where we discussed the opportunities and challenges facing investors in the current landscape. We highlighted the importance of maintaining a balanced perspective and avoiding emotional decision-making when navigating the complex tapestry of market trends and investment opportunities. Secondly, we examined the J.P. Morgan Equity Premium Income ETF, or JEPI, which has been gaining attention among conservative investors due to its unique blend of income and appreciation. While some analysts have raised concerns about potential impacts on future payouts, others remain bullish on JEPI's prospects, citing its lower volatility and stronger focus on risk mitigation. Lastly, we delved into the world of technology and finance, discussing recent developments surrounding Alibaba and NICE Limited. Despite missing earnings expectations, Astrada Advisors has upgraded their rating on Alibaba to buy, citing stabilizing core e-commerce business and impressive growth in AI cloud sector. Meanwhile, Nice limited strong key win-win results and undervaluation make it an attractive opportunity for investors. These stories highlight the importance of staying informed and adapting to changing market conditions. As always, we recommend a balanced approach, combining rigorous fundamental analysis with data-driven insights to navigate the complexities of the market. Remember, investing in the stock market involves risks, and it's essential to do your own research and consult with financial experts before making any investment decisions. That's all for tonight's summary. Thank you for joining us on the AI Daily Press Evening Podcast. We'll continue to provide you with timely updates and expert analysis to help you make informed decisions about your investments. Until next time, good evening and happy investing. Now for the latest in science and technology, here is Carl Starman.
Thank you, Louis. First, we looked at the race to the moon and the delicate balance between access, protection, and ownership. As nations and private companies return to the lunar surface, we must consider how to manage access, protect historical sites, and ensure responsible stewardship of our celestial neighbors. Next, we delved into a groundbreaking discovery in neuroscience, where researchers found that electroconvulsive therapy generates a postictal wave of spreading depolarization in both mice and humans. This breakthrough could lead to new treatments for mental health conditions and more effective therapies for other brain disorders. Finally, we touched on the Outer Space Treaty and the need for international cooperation to establish clear guidelines for lunar exploration. The recent draft on principles aim to provide a framework for responsible lunar exploration, but there's still much work to be done to ensure that our presence in space benefits all nations and generations to come. These stories remind us of the importance of curiosity, exploration, and responsible innovation as we push the boundaries of human knowledge and achievement. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the AI Daily Press. Until next time, keep looking up at those stars and wondering what wonders await us in the vast expanse of space. Good night, and stay informed. Now for the latest in sports, here is Howard Clozuel.
Thank you, Carl. Firstly, we're looking at the Minnesota Vikings with Fox Sports predicting they'll secure the 6th seed in the upcoming NFL playoffs. This would potentially set up an intriguing first-round matchup against the Detroit Lions. Meanwhile, Pro Football Focus has recognized Antoine Winfield, a former Vikings defender, as one of the all-time greats, highlighting his exceptional performance in both run and pass defense. Secondly, we're shifting our focus to the Chicago Bears and the Washington Commanders. The Bears are revamping their roster under new head coach Ben Johnson, with fresh talent like Colston Loveland and Luther Burden III vying for starting spots. On the other hand, the Commanders have invested heavily in their wide receiver room, boasting the 5th most expensive group in the league, led by Terry McLaurin and Deebo Samuel. Lastly, we're taking a closer look at the NFL schedule release and its implications. The Bears and Commanders are set to face off on Monday Night Football in Week 7, a highly anticipated matchup that could be a thriller. As we analyze these developments, it's essential to consider the broader context of the league, where any team can rise or fall on any given Sunday. In conclusion, tonight's AI Daily Press report highlights the Chicago Bears' efforts to revamp their roster and the Washington Commanders' significant investment in their wide receiver room. With the NFL schedule now set, fans are eagerly anticipating the upcoming season, and these two teams will undoubtedly be ones to watch. We'll continue to provide in-depth analysis and expert commentary as the season unfolds. Until next time, good night. Now, for the latest in travel and human interest, here is Charles Curol.
Thank you, Howard. First, we explored the intriguing relationship between Barbie dolls' heel height and their career choices, revealing a correlation that speaks volumes about our perceptions of femininity and profession. This story celebrated American crafts and skills, highlighting the dedication and attention to detail that goes into creating these beloved dolls. Next, we delved into the complex world of social commentary and cultural critique, meeting the people who collect Barbie dolls and cherishing them as nostalgic reminders or symbols of empowerment. We saw how these dolls bring people together, fostering a sense of community and shared experience. Finally, we ventured to the distant moon of Titan, where scientists made a groundbreaking observation of methane clouds wafting over its lakes. This discovery provides valuable insights into Titan's unique atmosphere and Earth-like cycle of liquids, raising important questions about the moon's long-term evolution and the possibilities of life beyond Earth. These stories remind us of the awe-inspiring complexity and beauty of our world and the universe. From the dignity of ordinary work to the importance of tradition and the power of individual stories, we've explored it all on the AI Daily Press. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, good night and clear skies. Now for the latest in fashion and entertainment, here is Joan Streams.
Thank you, Charles. I'm your host, Joan. Tonight we're giving you a quick rundown of our top stories. First up, we've got Luke Combs and Bailey Zimmerman making waves in country music with their new #1 hit, Backup Plan Diet. Can we talk? This song is a game changer. With over 21,000 copies sold in its first tracking frame, it's no surprise that these two talented artists are breaking records. In other news, Sony has cut prices on its older headphones as its new flagship model lands. And in the world of sports, journalism wins at the Preakness, while Gosga places and Sandman shows. But the real story tonight is all about fashion meets education. We're shining the spotlight on Trinidad James, a visionary artist who's redefining the boundaries of style and learning through his brand, Hamas-run. With his innovative approach to design, he's creating a platform that sparks conversations, inspires curiosity, and fosters a sense of community. So, what if fashion could be a tool for education? What if the clothes we wear could inspire us to ask questions, seek answers, and develop our own unique sense of style? It's a question that Trinidad James is answering through his work, and one that we hope will continue to inspire and provoke us in the days to come. That's all for tonight, folks. Thanks for joining me on this edition of the AI Daily Press. Until next time, stay fabulous, keep on dancing to the beat of country music, and always keep learning. Now, for the latest in nature and environment, here is David Attenacher.
Thank you, Joan. Firstly, we reported on the alarming situation in New South Wales, Australia, where native forest logging has sparked intense debate due to its financial losses and severe ecological damage. The call to end these practices highlights the need for a balanced approach between economic needs and environmental protection. Secondly, we touched on the story of Nyasa Reserve in Mozambique, where conservation efforts are underway to protect the incredible wildlife that calls this reserve home. Unfortunately, we also brought you updates on the developing story of the Nyasa Reserve being under threat, and the importance of prioritizing the safety and well-being of local communities, conservationists, and the wildlife. Lastly, we took a journey through America's wild and majestic landscapes, exploring the significance of wilderness in shaping our national identity. We reflected on the words of Wallace Stegner, who argued that these untamed landscapes are not just a source of natural beauty, but also a fundamental part of our American character. As we navigate these complex environmental issues, it's crucial to prioritize fairness, sustainability, and the well-being of both our ecosystems and our communities. We'll continue to monitor these stories and provide updates as more information becomes available. Thank you for joining us on this evening's edition of the AI Daily Press. And that completes our evening podcast for today. Thank you for listening. Until tomorrow morning, I'm David Attenacher for AI Daily Press, the world's most unbiased news source.